Alright, another NBA 2k22 rebuilding challenge. This is pretty much going to be the 30th pick fantasy draft rebuilding challenge. Instead of a serpentine fantasy draft, we have a fixed fantasy draft. I'm going to pick the Knicks, just because I'm a Knicks fan, even after that terrible loss we just came off of from the Timberwolves. Pretty much wherever the Knicks are, I'm going to switch them with 30th place, but the rest of the draft order I'm going to keep the same. Since it's a fixed fantasy draft, we really have to watch out for these top teams the most because they're going to get all the good talent, like the Clippers, Suns, Hornets, Magic, and Kings. They should have like the best teams. So we should hypothetically have the worst team as well. Alright, I plan on this being a one-year challenge. I'm going to auto-generate the rookies. If I decide to go a second year, whatever, we'll just have some random rookies in this. I want to try to win this in the first year. Chris Paul was our first round pick. Chris Middleton was our second round pick. Some old guys who are okay, but John Isaac's cool. Do we have any young trade pieces? Marvin Bagley and Jalen Smith might have some value. Same as Precious, he might have some value. But yeah, not too much potential to trade. Let me just see if I put Chris Middleton into the trade finder what I'm going to get, because I don't really want to keep Chris Middleton as the second best player on my team, especially now with his overall decreases to an 84 overall. We could get Siakam straight up, Steven Adams in a first. We could get Dylan Brooks, who's making only $12 million a year. I don't hate that trade if I'm being honest, plus Royce O'Neal. Vucevic, Warren, Barnes, Love, Gordon Hayward, Dinwiddie. We could get Capella. We'd have to trade Precious in this trade though, which I don't know I love. Could we do this without Precious? We need to give somebody else. What if we gave Robert Woodard instead? They wanted us to give up a first round pick for Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn's a 78 overall, so we can flip him. We'll get Clint Capella on the team. I think this is going to be our big trade package, Terry Rozier and Tim Hardaway Jr. This adds up to $40 million. So what kind of stars can we get for $40 million? This would be a big time player. James Harden is an option. He's only a 90 overall now. We could honestly probably get him. Tim Hardaway Jr., Terry Rozier from the Cavaliers for James Harden. They are obviously not going to do that, but I don't think that they said he's untouchable. Our first round pick's only worth 2 stars. That seems a little bit low, but okay. We can throw in a Jalen Smith. He's got 2.5 stars, or Marvin Bagley, who has 2.5 stars. Let's try Jalen Smith, and we'll ask for Joe Wisekamp back. They still say no. If I throw in another lottery protected first round pick, they say yes. So we have James Harden on the team now, which is cool. We also have Chris Paul, so we'll have James Harden play the 2. We can make him a backup point guard. And now we work on getting some wings on this team. I like Chris Paul at the 1. We can get James Harden at the 2. Clint Capella at the 5 is fine by me. We could keep Jonathan Isaac, but he doesn't really play that well in 2K, so I think I'd prefer to get him off the team. I think Marvin Bagley, Derek Favors, and maybe a second round pick can get us a good wing player. Well, we could get Terry Rozier and Mitchell Robinson right back. This is a team, we could weaken this Cavaliers team right here by getting Terry Rozier back and Mitchell Robinson. Yusuf Nurkic is a good center as well, but we don't really need another center. It's just that this trade, I think, is the best one, so we're going to take it. We can flip Mitchell Robinson or keep him as a backup. I think we're probably going to flip him just because we don't really need an 82 overall coming off of our bench and we have other positions to fill. So let's try throwing in Mitchell Robinson and Luke Kennard, make about $14 million in total. We could get Christian Wood and put him to the 4. He can definitely play the 4 more than Mitchell Robinson or Clint Capella could, but not the greatest option. Jeremy Grant would be a nice guy to fill out the starting lineup, so we could get Jeremy Grant. Josh Hart is an option as well, Cam Johnson, Jayshawn Tate, but yeah, Jeremy Grant is definitely the best out of the options that I've seen. Caruso in a first isn't bad either. Kuzma's an 82 overall now in 2K, is that for real? Dang, but and the other one we didn't have to give up a first round pick, so I think I'm going to get Jeremy Grant still. Yeah, this trade right here, we also get Jordan Nwora, who, he can score if you need him to play in 2K. I know he's only a 74 overall, but he can score. I kind of like Terry Rozier as a 6th man, so I might try to keep Terry Rozier as my 6th man. We still need a starting small forward, and I don't think I want it to be Isaac, so I think I'm going to do Jonathan Isaac and Patty Mills, since we already have Kendrick Nunn coming off of our bench. TJ Warren's an option. I don't think he plays particularly well in 2K, so I don't think I want to trade for TJ Warren, but as a worst case scenario, he is there. I am going to look for small forwards making about $22 million. We could try the Sabonis trade, move Jeremy Grant to the 3 instead of the 4. So if we did Jonathan Isaac and we added in Kendrick Nunn for Domantas Sabonis, they say no. But if we add in our top 10 protected pick from the Mavericks and a 2024 Knicks pick and 2 second round picks, I don't think we have any first round picks left. We could try a second. So then we give up those 3 first-round picks. Do they want to do this? It doesn't seem like they want to give up on Domantas Sabonis. I remember the Kings being one of the teams that were at the top of the draft, so they probably have a pretty good team. So it would be good to steal one of their good players. They've got Kawhi and Ben Simmons and Domantas Sabonis. It's a pretty good team. We could go with John Collins. I would prefer John Collins over Jonathan Isaac. Just in 2K, Jeremy Grant and Jonathan Isaac fulfill very similar roles, so I don't see the need for having both of them. John Collins is more, versatile as an offensive scorer. So if I do Patty Mills and Jonathan Isaac for John Collins, they say no. But I think with these first-round picks, they'll say yes. They only need 1 first-round pick to say yes. So as of right now, our rotation is looking like Chris Paul, James Harden, Jeremy Grant, John Collins, and Clint Capella, with Terry Rozier, Kendrick Nunn, Precious Achiuwa, Svi Mykhailiuk, and Jordan Nwora. We definitely have to improve the back end of that bench. First, let me change Jeremy Grant to a small forward. He actually goes up by 1, which is surprising. Not many players go up anymore when you switch their position, so it's good to see Jeremy Grant still go up by 1 point at the small forward position. So we have our backup guards, Kendrick Nunn and Terry Rozier, I'm very happy with. Precious Achiuwa definitely could be better. He'll probably have more value as a trade piece rather than someone in my rotation, so we'll see what we can get if we put like Precious Achiuwa and Jordan Nwora on the trade finder. Like this trade right here, Jordan Poole and Dwight Howard, that just kind of helps our depth big time. Max Strus and Gary Payton also helps our depth. Bielitsa, LA, can we get any like 80 overalls or like 2 positions that we need? We really need bigs more than wings. Hartenstein and Eubanks, we don't need 2 centers though. Matisse Thybulle, Blake Griffin down to a 75 overall, Jalen McDaniels, and Nick Richards. I guess we'll go with Jordan Poole and Dwight Howard, and then we might flip Jordan Poole because we already have a backup shooting guard. I'm fine with having Dwight Howard play some like 16, 18 minutes a game as the backup center. And then like I said, I think we're going to flip like Jordan Poole and Svi Mykhailiuk for one last backup position. I'm deciding between Melo and Jae'Sean Tate. Those are the 2 offers I saw that are the best. If we look at our bench, we have Terry Rozier, who's a scorer, Kendrick Nunn, whose defense isn't great, and then we have Dwight Howard, who obviously can't play perimeter defense, so I think we might go with Jae'Sean Tate. He's just probably a better defender, all things considered, than Carmelo Anthony. If we go to his stats, can we look at his stats? His perimeter defense is a 70, which is a little bit better than... it's a 70 interior and 70 perimeter, so it's very average defense, honestly, but we'll go with Jae'Sean Tate. And we have Dwight Howard, and we still have a bunch of second-round picks, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to look for one very special center who I had on my team just a few minutes ago, who's making like $1 or $2 million. That's Mitchell Robinson. He's usually pretty easy to trade for. So if I put in Dwight Howard and 2 second-round picks, let's say, they have even star value. They say no, but I feel like if I load this up with second-round picks, they're going to eventually say yes. They said they're not interested. 1 more second-round pick does not get it done. Okay, we're going to have to give up our last first, it looks like. We have 1 more first-round pick that we've been stocking up, though. We actually don't. That's a protected pick. I wonder if I can just trade a bunch of my seconds, because I have like 9 of them, for a first-round pick, and then use that to trade for Mitchell Robinson.
One completely irrelevant trade later.
Alright, we're back to Mitchell Robinson. We still have Dwight Howard, but we also have a juicy first-round pick to give him now from us. They say no, but with these last 3 second-round picks, I think they're going to say yes. They're still not interested. They're still not interested. Come on, 1 more second-round pick? They say they're not interested, really? Dang, okay. What if I threw in Howell Neto? Does that change anything? It does not look like it's going to change anything. Dang, okay. We just signed 3 centers from free agency. Okay, this trade gives Taj Gibson in a second for a first-round pick from Milwaukee. So let's do that, and let's just try it again. Mitchell Robinson of the Charlotte Hornets, nice to see you again. I throw in Dwight Howard. I throw in a first-round pick. They obviously say they're not interested. I throw in another first-round pick. Ah, now you're interested all of a sudden. Funny how that happens. And I'm just going to explore a few more trade options here, like Jae'Sean Tate in 2 seconds. Can that get us anything better? I doubt it can because he's making like a minimum contract. There's still Melo, but I already chose Jae'Sean Tate over Melo in the first place, so I'm not going to do that trade. Saw Jordan Poole. I see Victor Oladipo, but we don't really need more guards. If I do this same trade, but instead of Jae'Sean Tate, I do Kendrick Nunn. Can I get anything? TJ McConnell, but he's worse. We could get Gary Payton, but we kind of want a pure point guard off the bench. Not seeing anything better. Cam Johnson's a better overall, but not really the position we need. And yeah, you get some first round picks, but that's just kind of taking a step forward to take a step backward, or vice versa, I guess. So yeah, I think this is going to be our rotation. I think we got a 9-man rotation, right? We got Chris Paul, James Harden, Jeremy Grant, John Collins, and Clint Capella. These guys are in the same exact pose. Terry Rozier, Mitchell Robinson, Jayshawn Tate, and Kendrick Nunn, that 9-man rotation. It's still going to be under Tom Thibodeau probably, but I'm going to fire Tom Thibodeau just because I want to have the best chance possible to win this challenge. Going to fire our assistant coach as well and hire Trent Peterson. And then if we go to our system proficiency, our 4 stars, 7 seconds. So we'll do 7 seconds under Michael Stauffer. I think we have a pretty good team, like I said. So let's try to simulate to the trade deadline and see if we need to make any trades. I don't know where the trade deadline is. It's probably somewhere around here. I'll go to February 1st. Alright, coming near the trade deadline, we were on a huge winning streak from January 10th. We lost 1 game to the Milwaukee Bucks, but pretty much in the last 3 weeks we've lost 1 game. We're 37-14, so in the standings, don't know who Little Mo 1140 is, but okay. If we look at the standings, Milwaukee Bucks are tied with us for the first seed. They, I guess, have the tiebreaker on us, or the winning percent. Actually, we have a better winning percentage, but they, I guess, have like a tiebreaker or something. We're up there for one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. So that's cool. If we look at our player stats halfway through the season, a little bit more than halfway through the season, I guess. James Harden's leading the way, 23, 6, and 9 on 53, 49, 90 splits. Pretty much 90. We'll round up to the 50, 40, 90 club. Jeremy Grant's averaging 21. Okay, Jeremy Grant is putting a load on offensively. Terry Rozier, 16 off the bench. Chris Paul, 15 and 9. That duo is back together, I just realized. Chris Paul and James Harden. John Collins, 15. Capella, double-double with 2 blocks. Kendrick Nunn. Mitchell Robinson's not doing too much. 6 and 7 off the bench, but shooting 76% from the field. Jayshawn Tate's averaging 6.5 and 3.5 on good efficiency, so I'll keep him on the team. Looks like he's performing well. The one guy who's maybe not performing up to standards would be, I guess if I had to choose someone, it'd be like Kendrick Nunn, but he's shooting 55% from the field, so I don't really know. I guess the team's pretty good. I could explore a few trade options, but I'm probably going to keep the team the same. So the only trade I'm considering is this one, Julius Randle for John Collins. The same overall, similar contracts. If you look at most of the stats and advanced stats, it looks like Julius Randle has been better than John Collins this year, but like, do I want to mix up the team like this? I'm not exactly sure. I think because we have Clint Capella at the center position, I think we're going to go with Julius Randle here. He's got more star value, so we'll do that. We'll re-normalize the rotations, and we're going to have Chris Paul, James Harden, Jeremy Grant, Julius Randle, Clint Capella, Rozier, Jayshawn Tate, Mitchell Robinson, and Kendrick Nunn. We don't want those last 2 guys getting minutes. I hope they haven't been getting minutes all season. We'll make that a 9-man rotation. We'll take away a few minutes from these star guys right now, just so they're nice and healthy and rested for the playoffs. But yeah, I think we're going to just simulate the rest of the season from here. It looks like we're doing pretty good. Jonas Valanciunas is an all-star. I don't think I've ever seen Jonas Valanciunas make an all-star game in this game, but I think our only all-star is James Harden, unless I'm missing Chris Paul somewhere. I don't think that I am, so I think it's just James Harden holding down the fort for this 1-seeded or 2-seeded New York Knicks team. As we wrap up the regular season, we just barely made it to a 60-win team. I think we won our last 3 or 4 games of the season to get there. Luka was the MVP, averaging 31, 9, and 10. That's good numbers from him, I guess. Pretty average. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year, 22, 6, and 6. Fultz, 6-man. Giannis, DPOY. Maxey, Most Improved. And Michael Stauffer, 16-22 Coach of the Year. 95 overall, 99 offense, 92 defense. But we have some defenders, you know. Chris Paul is a sneaky defender at the point guard position. We got Clint Capella. We got Jeremy Grant. So I like our chances. James Harden does not make an All-NBA team, and neither does anyone else on our team. So a little bit sus there when we're probably the 1 seed, I have to assume. Yeah, we were the 1 seed by 6 games, so we were really, really good. If we go to the season stats, we'll check out the end of the year stats. I guess Harden went a little bit lower as the season ended. 22, 5.5, and 8.5. Did he make 50, 40, 90? He did not. 89.3%. So tragic. Julius Randle, it looks like he kept it up when he got traded. Jeremy Grant still averaging over 20. Terry Rozier, 15.5. Chris Paul, 15 and 9 still, so really good from him. Clint Capella still averaging his double-double, and everybody else shooting well off the bench. So if we go to the coaching game plan, let's go to a 9-man rotation. We're going to do that. We're going to give a few more minutes to our starters. Terry Rozier can still get 28 off of the bench. Mitchell Robinson can get 20. Jayshawn Tate can get 16. Kendrick Nunn only needs to get 10. We'll give 35 here, 38 here. We'll give 30, 30. We'll give 31 to Jeremy Grant and 32 to Julius Randle. So that looks pretty good to me. In the first round, we will be playing the 8th seed, whatever happens in the play-in tournament. It's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. They have TJ McConnell starting, Zach LaVine, Aaron Nesmith starting as well, Andre Drummond starting. I mean, this team is not very good. We should not really struggle with this. I'm going to just simulate the round because I'm pretty confident. We go up 3-0 and we sweep the Philadelphia 76ers. All right. It looks like the 1-seeded Clippers barely make it out of the first round. I remember they had a very high pick in the draft, in the fantasy draft. They went 58-24, so we were the best team in the league, but there's like 3 teams in the Western Conference that had over 57 wins. In the second round, we faced the 5 seed, Kyle Lowry back in Toronto. He's just a Toronto legend. Eric Gordon, Bruce Brown, Jonathan Isaac, and DeAndre Ayton. This team does not seem very good either. They have Eric Gordon, Bruce Brown starting. We should easily beat this team as well. We definitely have the better team, but they win game 1, so maybe I should shut my mouth. We win game 2, though. We win game 3. We win game 4. Okay, we just needed 1 game to warm up. You know, we swept to the 76ers, so we had a lot of days off before the second round. Now we have the 2-seeded Milwaukee Bucks. They have Trae Young, Josh Green starting at the 2, though. Norman Powell, Brandon Clark, and Jonas Valanciunas. They have 2 All-Stars on their team, as well as Norman Powell and Brandon Clark starting. This team's definitely a lot better. I think this one we're going to simulate game by game because we have a potential to lose this one. We win game 1, though, and it was an overtime game, maybe even double overtime, depending on that score. James Harden at 35, Capella 30 as well, oh my gosh. And Terry Rozier, 27 off the bench. Julius Randle almost had a triple-double. Great game from the guys, and that's a huge game 1 win. In terms of game 2, we have to press play game, so it lets us simulate game by game for some reason. They win game 2, though, a 2-point win in the fourth quarter. They outscored us by 2. That was the difference. Julius Randle, once again, the leading scorer, 32, 6, and 6. Looks like that might have been a good pickup. I guess we're just going to simulate the round, but go by very slowly. They go up 2-1. We go up 3-2. Okay, we're up 3-2. We're going to be on the road. We're going to be in Milwaukee, but I think we're going to simulate this one with SimCast as a potential clinching game. We're up by 17. We're up by 17 still, and we're going to close this one out by 17. Every time I paused, we were up by 17. Trae Young at 32 at 7, but Terry Rozier with 36 off the bench. That's the scary Terry we know in the playoffs right there. 17, 6, and 6 from Jeremy Grant as well. And who are we going to be facing in the finals? Whoa. We're facing the Clippers, but we're already up 2-0. We won game 2 in overtime. Let's go to game 1 first. We blew them out in game 2. 22-point win. Julius Randle, once again the leading scorer. A great trade in the middle of the season by us. Scary Terry and Jeremy Grant were the leading scorers. Double-digit assists, though, from this former Houston Rockets backcourt. For the Clippers, let's go and look at the Clippers team because we missed them. Bradley Beal at the point guard. Okay. Karis LeVert, Michael Porter Jr., Giannis, and Bobby Portis. That team is really good. I guess maybe Bradley Beal not being a natural point guard, they're not getting much facilitating on this team maybe, but Michael Porter Jr. can space out the floor really well. Giannis is obviously a stud. Bobby Portis Jr. has had a really, really good season. He can space the floor at the center position as well, and Karis LeVert's a bucket, so I'm very happy we're up 2-0 in this series. It could very easily be 1-1 though, but we won that game 2 in overtime by 2. James Harden at 38, 5, and 14. That's a vintage James Harden performance right there. And let's simulate this game 3. They win game 3. I didn't think that we were going to go up 3-0, but we were 1 point away. Bradley Beal had 30. Terry Rozier had 29, but we were not able to get it done. Let's simulate the round. They tied up at 2-2. They won again by 1 point. Are you serious? Their last 2 wins have been by 1 point each. 27, 9, and 9 from Bradley Beal, 27 from Giannis, 40 from Julius Randle. He is not a playoff choker, ladies and gentlemen, but we don't get it done. We need to simulate this one with SimCast. This is a crucial game 5. We're at home, so we should have the advantage. MSG is rocking right now, and it looks like the Knicks are going to take a crucial game 5 win. Chris Paul with 27, Julius Randle with 22, James Harden with the double-double, and we're 1 win away from our first championship since 1973 or whatever. The Knicks have been in a long, long NBA Finals drought, but it looks like we're in the lead. We're up by 4 going to the fourth quarter. We're up by 5, we're up by 7, we're up by 6. We're up by 8 with a minute left. It would require a colossal collapse, which the Knicks are definitely capable of, but it does not happen. James Harden was the Finals MVP, 21, 6, and 11 from James Harden. Very nice job from the New York Knicks. This was the final team. Chris Paul, Harden, Jeremy Grant, Randle, and Capella, with Terry Rozier, Mitchell Robinson, Jayshawn Tate, and Kendrick Nunn coming off the bench. That was the team that got the New York Knicks a championship despite the 30th pick in the fantasy draft. If you like that video, like the video. If you like the content, subscribe, and peace.
It's caught in the crossfire. It's caught in